Well, hello my darlings. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. This is Reads with Lauren. I am Lauren. It's so great to have you joining me on this little adventure today. Today's video is very exciting. It's been a little while coming. I tend to not spend a lot of money on books during the year. Especially last year, I tried to do no books as much as possible and try and work through my TBR. However, Christmas and then my birthday being only a couple of weeks afterwards usually means I have a fair few books to talk about. And this year in particular is no different. In fact, it's probably a whole lot worse. I have bought, since Christmas, too many books. Far too many books. But I'm so excited and I can't wait to share them all with you. So, let's get started. So first off, for Christmas, my brother, who is brilliant, by the way, ended up getting me the first 10 books of the St. Mary's Chronicles series. If you're new here, I'm obsessed with this series. I won't go too much into it because I tend to do that every video. However, the first 10 books are Just One Damn Thing After Another, A Symphony of Echoes, A Second Chance, A Trail Through Time, No Time Like the Past, What Could Possibly Go Wrong, Lies, Damn Lies and History, And the Rest is History, An Argumentation of Historians, and Hope for the Best. So St. Mary's is a team of people that go back in time to record moments in history and come back with evidence to show what actually occurred. Such a great series. I would read Jodie Taylor's grocery list because it would be absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, I'm so excited to now have these in hard copy so that when I decide to do a reread, which will be very, very soon, I will have them readily available. So thank you to my brother for these. Now these are all books that I went and purchased on my own over Christmas and birthday period, and I'll get these ones out of the way because they're all by the same author and he is right up there alongside Jodie Taylor, but it is Brandon Sanderson. And so I picked up a few works that I have already read, one of those being Elantris and the other being Warbreaker. I really enjoyed these and I really wanted to have my own copy of those, so really glad I picked those up. I also picked up Wind and Truth, book 5 of the Stormlight Archive. I've just finished book 3, but when this came out I couldn't wait. I was far too excited, so I picked this one up already so that when I finish book 4 I will have book 5 ready to go straight away. This is one I highly recommend if you haven't already checked out. And then I finished my collection of the Secret Project books. Now I haven't actually read any of them yet, but I have Sunlit Man and Yumi and the Nightmare Painter ready to go, and so I also picked up Tress of the Emerald Sea and the Frugal Wizard's Handbook for Surviving Medieval England. I can't wait to get into this one because I am all about time travel and history, so this will be really exciting to read. And that's all my Brandon works. Now these ones are ones that I have picked up but I have since read, so they've been over the last few weeks, or they are ones that I read last year but I needed to get my hands on my own copy. So the first one being the latter case, and that is The House in the Cerulean Sea and Somewhere Beyond the Sea. I finished Somewhere Beyond the Sea and I knew I had to get my own copies of these ones. I think these are just such a comfort read and I can't wait to reread them. I also picked up The Pairing by Casey McQuiston. This is one I have also read, but I listened to it in audiobook. It was really good, and so I wanted to have my own copy. 14 Days. This one is edited by Margaret Atwood and Douglas Preston, but there are well over 30 authors that contributed to this one. I have read it, I have finished it. I definitely have things to say, but I'll save it for the wrap up. And last but not least, I picked this one up as a blind date with a book, and I'm really excited that I did because I knew about the story and I had read The Pisces by Melissa Broder, but I had no idea what this one was actually about. So when it was wrapped up, it said it was queer, it was spicy, and it was a bit chaotic, and I thought, you know what? That just sounds right down my alley. And so it was Milk Fed by Melissa Broder. This one is about this lapsed Jew named Rachel. She's 24 and basically her daily routine is completely fitted around maintaining her weight and tracking calories, which initially was a little bit triggering, but then she does grow and evolve in this story due to some queer interests and the interactions that she has with those as well as people around them. I found this actually really interesting, but I will go into it a little bit more in the January wrap up. I believe these are all the romance that I've picked up. The first one is The Rules of Royalty by Cale Dietrich. I hope that that's how you pronounce it. This one I picked up because I saw the cover and it immediately gave me red, white and royal blue vibes, which I loved. But also, this is the co-author of If This Gets Out alongside Sophie Gonzalez, which I read a couple of years ago and thoroughly enjoyed. So I can't wait to pick this one up. This centers on Jamie, who finds out that he is the heir to the throne of a tiny European country. And so he gets together with Prince Eric to learn how to become a prince. And it just sounds really cute. There's a lot of talk about royal obligation, garden parties, politics, lessons in regal etiquette, and sparks flying between the two princes, which always sounds awesome. The next one that I picked up purely because I knew it was a time travel sort of vibe, and I really love time travel, and I thoroughly enjoy a romance if there is a time travel component to it. So super excited to pick this one up, and it was A 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I haven't read The Dead Romantics, but I have heard differing reviews. However, this one sounds so good. So Clementine wakes up one morning to find that there is a man within her house, and it turns out that the man lives in the past, 7 years in the past, and he's staying in it as, I believe it was an Airbnb. So I don't know much more about it than that, but I'm super excited to get into this one. This is on the priority list. It's right next to my bed already, ready to go for when I finish up my TBR for this month, but super excited. Next one is Not for the Faint of Heart by Lex Croucher. Lex Croucher wrote Gwen and Art Are Not in Love, which I actually have in my bookshelf. I read last year, really enjoyed it. So this is the next one in the series. It is a YA romance, but it has that historical element to it. I believe this one is a queer retelling of Robin Hood. So that's super exciting. I love Robin Hood, so we'll see. Then, because I've heard so many good reviews about this book, I picked up Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. This one is about Alexis. Her world has been turned upside down because Daniel, a hot carpenter 10 years younger than her, has come into her life and they're keeping it casual. She is a doctor and she feels the pressure of her parents to become a specialist or a world-renowned surgeon like her family has, but she is just happy working within the ER, and it looks like she has to kind of battle with that element as well as this connection that she has with this carpenter who is much more relaxed, much more laid back. I'm super excited. If you've read it before, let me know. If you've read any of these, let me know in the comments what you thought, because I'm so excited to get my hands on all of them. But this one sounded particularly good and the reviews have been so awesome. So looking forward to it. Moving on to the fantasy books. So I picked up, because I've heard so many good things about this one as well, and I really want to make a start on it, Jade City by Fonda Lee. This sounds super, super exciting. It is a fantasy. Jade is the lifeblood and it gives you strength, speed, and other powers. I don't know much more than that, but I'm super excited to get my hands on this. I've heard so many good things. I also picked up this one, and I was contemplating whether to put it back. The person at the bookstore actually said to me that they had just finished reading it and they read it in 2 days, and it was a cozy fantasy that they absolutely adored, and so I had to walk out with it. And that is The Lost Bookshop by Evie Woods. I don't know anything about this except that it is set in Dublin and there is a lost bookshop waiting to be found. So Opaline, Martha and Henry have been the side characters in their own lives. But when a vanishing bookshop casts its spell, these three unsuspecting strangers will discover that their own stories are every bit as extraordinary as the ones found in the pages of their beloved books. By unlocking the secrets of the shelves, they find themselves transported to a world of wonder where nothing is as it seems. This sounds amazing. Then I couldn't help myself. I finished Empire of the Vampire and instantly went out and bought Empire of the Damned. I am so excited to get into this one. This is an epic fantasy. I'm very into vampires at the moment with my recent obsession with Interview with a Vampire and the new seasons that have been coming out. There is a 3rd season coming out this year, so I will not shut up about it again. But the first one was such a good story, and what I particularly love about these books is there are pictures throughout. Not a whole lot, but enough for you to kind of be able to visualize it a lot easier, which I found really great. And not only that, but the quality of the pictures is so beautiful. I mean, look at that. It's so gorgeous. I'll try not to look at too many because it'll give spoilers, but I mean, look at this. Is that not stunning? That alone, plus the cover, made me so excited to have this on my bookshelf. But I'm super excited to read this one. I don't want to give too much away about this one because if you haven't read it, there is a lot that occurs in the first book that would kind of be spoiled if I told you any more about this one, but it is based on Gabrielle the vampire and it's really interesting. The first book was amazing and I read it very quickly and it's a very interesting. There's a lot of adult content, so obviously trigger warnings. But yes, it's a great series and I can't wait to finish it. And on to the last few. So excited to get my hands onto these ones. I have heard great things about this one and even though it's been out for a long time, I thought that I would pick up my own copy, and that is the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. Pretty much the exact same reason as before. I love vampire stories at the moment and I feel like this is going to be super funny. This is about a group of people who come together as in a book club, and there is a new man that comes into town who is quite gorgeous, but then they discover that people are going missing. That's all I know about it so far and I really am so intrigued to read some more. I've only read one of Grady Hendrix's other works and that was We Sold Our Souls, and that was gory and amazing, and so I'm super excited to read this one as well. Then I picked up a Matt Haig book. Matt Haig is hit or miss. He's a little bit Hallmark and I know that, but I have a copy of The Midnight Library and I also read one of his other works last year. And so when I saw this one, The Life Impossible, it was quite cheap and I thought, why not? Let's give it a go. So I don't know much about this, and the only thing that it says on the back is a new view can change everything. So very intrigued. I don't know what I'm in for, but that's one thing I like about not knowing too much about a book, because hopefully that means that it'll surprise me and I won't go in with too many expectations. Final two are non-fiction, and the only reasoning behind picking this up is because I saw Gillian Anderson talking about it on TikTok, but very intrigued to read. It is Want. So these are anonymous submissions that have been collated and collected by Gillian Anderson. Don't know much more than that, but super excited to read this one. I really like books about feminine perspective, especially within a sexual environment, so really intrigued. And last but not least, I picked this one up today actually, and it is Behave, The Biology of Humans at Our Best and Worst by Robert Sapolsky. This is a big one, so it will probably take me a little while, but it goes right into why human beings behave the way they do. That sort of thing fascinates me. I love psychology and the brain. And so this is one that I thought, even though my little nonfiction collection, I am not working my way through so much. I didn't read very much last year. This will definitely be on the priority list to read this year, because it's just such a fascinating topic. That is all the books that I've picked up in the Christmas and birthday period. I'm going to work very hard to not buy too many more this year and continue to work through my TBR, especially considering I've added so many more books to it. But let me know in the comments below if you have hauled anything recently. What new books have you got that you're excited to read? Are there any books that you really want to get a hard copy of because you just enjoy it so much? And what's on your radar this month? What are you reading this month that you're really enjoying? Let me know in the comments. I'm so intrigued. But until next time, enjoy the rest of your day, wherever you are, whatever it is you're doing, and I look forward to chatting to you again very, very soon. Goodbye, my darlings.